This episode is brought to you by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Some things are just better together, like party playlists and Friday nights, campfires and ghost stories, peanut butter and chocolate. And Reese's Cups are the perfect combination of creamy peanut butter and delicious milk chocolate. So, when you want something sweet, you can't do better than Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Buy Reese's today wherever candy is sold.
Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, decided I'm going to do a relationship advice episode. So first, let me go ahead and check out. Alright, everything cool with YouTube? Okay, let's, alright, well, I already had it in the Google search. So, I'm going to make this a long one, too. I was like, I haven't done a long one in a long time. So, yeah, let me just go ahead and, find some things to talk about. But first one, I think my boyfriend sabotaged our birth control. So wait a minute, like, dang, that's a long one. Okay, let's just go ahead and read it. Me and my boyfriend have been together for 4 years, lived together for 2 of those. I've always been very open with him from very early in the relationship that I don't think I want children. Oh, so he wants kids, but that's kind of messed up though. Like, nah, I couldn't do that to a girl. I couldn't do that to a girl at all, because I'm like, nah, my thing is that, I feel like there's a trust that's built in a relationship, and when you break that trust because you want, like, of your own greed, yeah, that ain't cool, man. That's not cool at all. So I definitely would break up in that relationship, because that ain't good. So anyways, then she goes on to say, I am generally a very anxious person, worry about everything, and I think I have a small human that I am entirely responsible for the well-being of. Wait a minute. About everything, I think having a small human that I am entirely responsible for the well-being of just pushed me over the edge, and I'd be a terrible parent who, like, bubble wraps their children and doesn't let them do anything out of fear that something bad might happen to them. Well, see, that's like the responsibilities of being a parent. Like, I'm not a parent myself, but that's like something that I thought of. Like, I'm like, hey, yo, like, I'm going to protect my kid for as long as I possibly can, but, like, I'm going to, like, put them in the right direction and stuff. Like, I'm not going to, like, just not be a responsible, parent. I am going to be irresponsible. I'm not going to be an irresponsible parent. I am going to be irresponsible. So it's like, you can't go into it thinking that, like, oh, I'm going to be a bad parent from the jump. Like, no, you're not. Like, so, but my thing is, like, no, if you did say that you didn't want kids, like, hey, then, you don't have to have kids. But I'm just, because I still do think, like, with the boyfriend, if what you're saying is true, yeah, that ain't right. That ain't cool at all. So, anyways, I don't think it's fair to project my anxieties on a child who has no control over how I am and relies on me for everything. So, I have always told him that until that changes, I don't want children. He was always outwardly fine with it and didn't seem very fussed about having kids anyways. 8 weeks ago, his grandfather died from COVID. Dang, that's messed up. And deeply affected him, as he had a very strong relationship with them. He spent a lot of time with his parents during this time and suddenly became super into the idea of us marrying and starting a family. Loss affects everyone in different ways, and I didn't blame him for it or dismiss his feelings, but maintain that my feelings haven't changed. He told me that I need to face my fears and just have a child, and I won't be so anxious anymore, as we fear the unknown, and I won't care once the baby is here. I said no, and that I didn't think that was at all that right to go about things, and he got really impatient with me and walked off. We didn't talk about it again. But yeah, it's like, no, my thing is like, look, Like it's mad or it's sad overall, like with his personal, like what he is going through in his personal life. But you can't push off like that family responsibility like onto her and things like that's why I'm like, I don't know, like it's I understand his wishes because it's something that I wish for myself. Like I do want a family, and that's just something where I'm like, I think I would ask the girl, like, like if she's like, hey, like if she told me in the beginning of the relationship, like I don't want a family, then I'm like, well, what about the future? Do you see yourself having a family in the future? If she says no, then that ain't the relationship for me. Because I do want kids. I do want the whole like white picket fence, family, wife, kids, all of it. I want the whole package, right? So my thing is like, look, currently, right now, yes, I'm not a responsible person. I'm probably one of the most irresponsible people that y'all is listening to right now. All right, but in the future, okay, I do want a family. All right, that's definitely one thing. Shoot, if I could, I have a family right now. If that was like, if I had like freaking Cosmo and Wanda from the Fairly Odd Parents, I definitely would wish for a family. Just so I can see, just for the remainder of the 30-minute episode, how would that look? So I'm like, okay, but anyways, but yeah, it's like I don't know, like I feel like that's a negative and a positive trying to like become a positive. Like that ain't gonna work out. I'm not trying to say like the relationship ain't gonna last, but that's where it looks like it's heading. And plus, if he's out here sabotaging birth control, yeah, that ain't, something ain't right. Okay, something ain't right. So anyways, then she continues on by saying, this month my period was late, which it absolutely never is. And when I told him, he didn't seem surprised but was very excited. I took 3 tests, of all which came back positive. I have an appointment with the doctor on Tuesday to determine how pregnant I am currently. Something about my boyfriend's reaction to the whole thing was really off to me, and the timing from when we had our conversation to now suddenly having an unplanned, unexpected pregnancy is so suspicious to me. I can't use hormonal contraception because there is a history of blood clots in my family, so we use condoms and always have. I can't know for sure, but I can't shake the feeling he did something to or stealth me or something. I feel sick to my stomach and am so anxious about being pregnant and don't know what to do about it. My boyfriend's over the moon, has told his parents, and is acting like it's a given that I'm going to continue with the pregnancy. On the other hand, I feel like I've gotten the worst news in the world. There's still the possibility it was a total accident, the condoms broke or something, in which case it isn't fair to me to blame him or resent him. What do I do in this nightmare situation? Dang. Like I just, man, like that's the thing. Dang, I don't know. Like have the, because it's, because then it's like, okay, you have the kid, and then it comes off, it's like, you having that kid, and then you not wanting to be bothered, then people are going to say that you're a bad parent. So then even if you adopt a kid or whatever, so I'm like, man, that's a jacked up situation. Yeah, I'm like, I definitely like a person like that, like you would have to be like very, very cautious about them and stuff. Because the thing is, it's like, okay, if you bring up abortion, then that's gonna really send dude over the edge. So it's like you can't bring that up because that's gonna, like, man's gonna lose his mind if you say some stuff like that. So you can't. Hold on for 1 second. All right, I'm back. Just had to do some things real quick. But anyways, yeah, if you bring up abortion, then yeah, that man, he's gonna go over the edge. So it's like you can't do that because I'm more so worried for her life. Like at this point, I'm like, okay, now it's like your life is possibly in danger fooling around with this man, because if he's doing some shady stuff like that, yeah, something ain't right. I'm gonna just say that right now. Something is not right. So definitely, I will be very, very, extremely cautious of that man. But yeah, I guess like just wing this one. Have the kid and hope and pray for the best. Like I really do hope and pray for the best for that mom to be. I feel like I shouldn't say that. I'm like, but it's like, it's either way. I'm like, yeah, dang, I am sorry to hear that. Sorry that you're in a relationship like that, but that's crazy. Dang. All right. Well, anyways, hope and pray for the best for that couple. But next one, my boyfriend wants me to stop letting my son and be in my ex's life, his father figure, but not bio father because it's disloyal. What should I do? Well, no, no. My thing is, it's like if I have a relationship. So my thing is like, okay, if we've broken up, but we like things ended off like in good terms to where like, okay, I'm cool with your kid. Like, hey, like I'm not going to, I'm not gonna like my thing is like if the kid wanted to see me, I'm not gonna be like, oh well, since me and your mom is no longer dating, like I can't like I can't be around you or can't be associated with you. Like no, my thing is like yeah, if I was ever in a relationship like that or if, and the relationship ended, but I was still cool with the woman, but and I was also cool with her kid. I'm like, hey, look, if I built a relationship with that kid, I'm like, hey, like I'm gonna be cool with the kid. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I can't. Like that's one thing why I'm all like, cause see, so a lot of my like friends, they have kids, and it's one of those things where I'm like, I don't know. I feel like it's not to sound weird, but there has been times where I found like single moms attractive. I'm all like, hey, like I'm willing to do some Ice Cube, are we there yet type stuff with you. So, anyways, but I thought like you're gonna have to like build a relationship with the kid. Like that's something that you can't really just avoid and stuff if you're getting into a relationship with somebody with the kid. So and if there's a something like if overall like when the relationship is built, that kid loves me, I love the kid, I'm not gonna be like, oh well, I can't be associated with you anymore now that we done broken up. Like I guess like to a certain extent it would be like awkward, but at the same time I'm like, okay, well what are you guys gonna do if y'all want like some alone time or y'all gonna go out on a date? Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters? No. Like my thing is it's like, look, if she's in a situation where she can't contact her parents, if she can't contact nobody else, and I'm literally like down the street, like, hey, I will watch the kid. I would definitely hands down watch the kid. Because if he sees me if he or she sees me as a father figure, I'm like, I'm not gonna deny that kid that. I'm like, hey, if the biological father ain't in the kid's life, I will. Okay, so I don't think there's no problem with that. I don't know. Maybe some other people might find a problem with that, but I don't. But anyways, next one. I left my abusive boyfriend 5 months ago. He has made my life HE double hockey sticks ever since. But anyways, dang, it's like honestly in a situation like that, that's when you gotta get like some like manly, because I don't know if a girl were to approach me and she told me that she left her boyfriend and he's been going off on it, or overall like making her life miserable, I'll approach that man and let him know like, hey, Tinder, Bumble, there's all these different apps out there, go on those apps, but this girl right here, leave her alone, because if I have to see you again, it's going to be a problem. So yeah, I don't do so well with that. I don't do so well with the whole like abuse factor in like ex like form of relationships and things like overall like exes and stuff. Like yeah, I don't do so well with that. So I'm like, hey yo, you gonna have to, they ain't even like a chill, like all that cut, stop, like that ain't happening no more. Okay, so yeah, I'm like, I'm definitely, the day I get into a relationship and the girl tells me she got like some crazy ex, I'm all like, oh, well, he don't know crazy. I know crazy. I've grown up around crazy. I was raised around that word crazy. He might have just discovered crazy. I was raised into crazy, okay? But I'm only crazy to like outside. Like on the other note, like I am a cool dude, okay? Don't think for a second like, oh, this man, he full blown nuts. Like no, like I'm a cool person, but it's just like with outside like parties trying to, yeah, that's why I'm like, no, that ain't happening. So I'm all like, whoever you are, you Tinder, Bumble, you choose. I'm like, you better choose right now, because I'm like, I ain't putting up with that. So anyways, next one. I think I saw a video of my boyfriend having sex with another girl. Dang, that's messed up. I mean, like, that's wow. That's something. Dang. So and the girl, that it looked like they're in school or something. I feel like I don't know. I feel like that's kind of inappropriate reading about like some like teenagers. Like I ain't gonna read into that one because I'm like the girl is 17 that's writing about it. So I'm like I don't know about reading that one. But anyways, yeah. If you think that that is your boyfriend, then yeah, then that ain't your boyfriend no more. That dude out here cheating on you. So yeah, I definitely would in that if you are for sure that I'm like reading into it, but I'm like I don't want to because it's just it's weird. It's just a weird thing, but yeah, I definitely would do like a investigation, and if you determine something that you didn't need to see, then yes, the relationship is over. But if that ain't the person, all right, like then you in the clear. But anyways, next one. Did I overreact? My husband's not talking to me now, but I don't regret what I did. Huh, so let's read this. So it says TW suicide. I don't know what the W means, but I guess maybe this story got something to do with suicide. I don't know. But for backstory, my husband came to me a month ago and told me he was suicidal. He said he planned out a way to do it, and it was by using his gun. I told my therapist about it, and she suggests making a game plan with him about and our couples therapist. My husband acted like this was an overreaction and unnecessary since he said it was just a thought and he hadn't had it since. Our couples therapist agreed with him and said it was probably just the meds he was on. To keep telling me he was that thought and maybe to keep telling me he was has that thought and maybe hide the keys to the gun safe if I'm really that concerned. My thing is, no, you didn't over. My thing is, like, look, if somebody would approach me and they've been like, they told me like 10 years ago I was suicidal, that's something I'm like, I still would check up on them. Like, they tell me, oh, yeah, 10 years ago when I was in middle school, high school, whatever. And yes, I had, like, if they told me that they had some suicidal thoughts, I would check up on that person even though it was 10 years later. I didn't even know that person. My thing is like, if I didn't even know you back then, and I know you now, and you tell me some stuff like that now, I'm checking up on you. Okay, I am checking up on you because I'm like, okay. My thing is that you had that thought or idea or something back when I didn't know you. Okay, so now that I know you, my thing is like, look, if I gotta be that annoying friend to just overall like let you know, like, hey, if you think for a second that ain't nobody is here for you, like I'm here. I'm here for you. All right. So, anyways, yeah, this is a it seems like sort of. I don't even know if I see. I don't know. I feel like I guess I'll read this. All right. So, anyways, continuing on. So she says, fast forward a month, he's now on new meds and seems to be doing better. Okay, that's good. He hasn't mentioned any thoughts on self-harm since. One of the places I hid the keys was my art supply, which I normally keep put up and no one ever touches them but me. My kids found a way to split them. My kids found a way to split them everywhere. The key got lost. I looked everywhere for it but didn't find it. He seemed better though, and since our therapist shrugged it off, I thought maybe it wasn't that big a deal. A couple of days later, he gives me the key and tells me he found it. Oh, wow, that's crazy. He also tells me about how he found it 2 days ago and he didn't want to exist anymore. He planned on using the gun. He said he called the suicide prevention hotline, but it didn't help. He went into our kids' room and said goodbye to each one, held them for a last time, then went to do the act before stopping to read a note our daughter wrote him and then snapped them out of it. Hey, yo, that is scary, man. That is some scary stuff. Like, no, you did not overreact on however you reacted. That's not however you reacted. It's not overreaction. That is some scary stuff. Like, seriously, like, man, that's somebody. I'm like, it trips me out. Like, I'm all like, I don't know what meds he's on, but obviously he don't need to be on them meds. I'm all like, it's you got you thinking along those lines. I don't know if it's the meds or just overall him, but it's like, man, that is some scary stuff. So, Anyways, he said all this while sobbing. I asked if he told the therapist, and he said no, didn't see a point. I told him I wanted him to tell his therapist everything he told me, and sends me a screenshot of him texting the therapist saying I was suicidal the other day, but I'm fine now. I'm not endangering myself. I'm only telling you this because my wife thinks I should. Took the key, went to hide it with the other one when I realized it was missing as well. So instead of hiding this key, turning the house over for the second one, I took his guns, sold them to a pawn shop. I got up early, snuck the gun safe out of the house, and pawned them. I then left this safe in the car because I didn't have a way of sneaking it back in the house. I was hoping I had time to sneak it back in and him not notice, but he saw it this morning and figured out what I did. He's not talking to me now, and I know he's very angry. I don't know what to do. Was I in the wrong here? I want to smooth things over, but I also don't want guns in my house anymore, and I'm not bending on that. What do I do? No. No, you did not overreact. That's not, no. I'm all like, my thing is like, if he just told you that, if he just told you what he planned on doing, that's not an overreaction. That is not an overreaction. And I most likely would have did the same thing. If I was all like, if it really was bothering me that much, I'm all like, no, we gotta like, I wouldn't even have sold them. I probably would have found like a lake or a pond and well, see, then they probably discovered it, and they probably thought I was linked to some crime, and so yeah, it probably would be best like you selling it to a pawn shop, because I'm like, yeah, that's scary. That is some scary stuff. Then it was like it ends off with an edit. When I say he said goodbye to the kids, he went into the rooms while they slept, held them, kissed them, then said his goodbyes while they were asleep. I don't think they had any idea it happened. Oh wow. Yeah, that's man, that is some scary stuff. That is some extremely scary stuff. Yeah, I definitely would have did the same thing. That's something where it's like you can't like shake that. You can't just be like, oh, all right, thank you for telling me, then just move on. Like, no, that type of stuff. Like, I'm saying, if whoever my future wife is, if she were to tell me some stuff like that, I will everything in my power, because I'm like, I feel like and I'm not saying that's overall you, like, I feel like that what you just did, like, you potentially saved his life for like another moment. And that's like, but it's like he shouldn't even be mad, because it's like, well, what do you expect how do you expect the person to react to some stuff like that? Like, my thing is like, yeah, I definitely feel like am I in the wrong on this? Like, no, because I'm like, we gotta get to the bottom of this. Like, what is going on? Because I'm saying, like, that type of stuff is scary. Like, no, that's not no overreaction. Because it's like, I don't think he understands, like, you as a significant other, like, how much you have love for him. Like, you guys got a family. You guys is like a thing. Like, y'all is one. So, like, if one leaves the pack, I'm saying, like, that's gonna be some dark stuff. So it's like, I don't think he understands that. I'm like, bruh, I'm like, I understand you dealing with some stuff, and I'm not trying to shake that. I'm not trying to shake, like, a person being depressed, feeling suicidal, or any of that other stuff. But I'm like, hey, if like, there's at times, like, if you need help, like, talk to people. Like, talk to people, talk to your wife, talk to your kids, talk to somebody. But I'm like, dang, that type of stuff, to me, it's scary. Okay, so, anyways, but next one, my best friend is dating a freshman. Ugh. Well, actually, the girl was a junior, but I wouldn't necessarily say I was friends with the guy, but I just remember that was like the talk around school. How there was this he was a freshman and he was dating a junior. I can't remember how old she was. But yeah, it's like we all just got to the school and I'm all like, dang, man, out here pulling juniors. I'm like, all right. I'm like, do your thing, bro. But that's something where I'm all like, hey, like I heard about that a lot, like when I was in school, where a freshman would be dating a senior. And it was like men, women, women, men, like it was just it was one of those things. Like I just it didn't really phase me. Like, but yeah, it happens. It was happening a lot. So yeah, I'm like the school I went to, but it's like after I think it was like done and over with, like they would break up and things. It's just like a lot of the I mean there was like some seniors at my school that was 18, and then there was like, but I felt like that a lot of them were 17. So I guess like still underage. But still, it's kind of weird though. Like I'm like, I don't know about that one. But I'm like, that's yeah. I'm like that is kind of weird. I'm like, no, I ain't even kind of that is just full blown weird. I'm like, hey, like it's like trying to like tell a person find somebody your age. Like I don't know, like but you hear like stories and situations where a teacher would be sleeping around with a student. So I'm all like, either way, both is just like weird and wrong. But I'm like, hey, like it was something that I was there's like kids I went to middle school with that was dating high schoolers. So I'm like, that's just as worse. I'm like, there's a one girl I remember, she was telling me how she was dating some guy that was in high school, and I'm like, wait a minute, really? Like, y'all is all right, well, hey, do your thing. But I'm not gonna read this next one because it's a little bit dark, but it's about like some like sexual assault type stuff. And to whoever that girl is, like break up with that guy, all right? But anyways, so this next one, my daughter came out as trans and I'm struggling with it. That's a thing where it's all like you as a parent, that's something that you have to like face, like potentially face. Like it can happen, it might not happen, you never know. But that's the thing though, it's like that's your kid. You gotta love your kid. Like my thing is like the day I have kids, if they do that, they do that. I ain't got no control over it. And to be that parent, to be like, oh, you need to live your life and do this and do, like it in the way that I imagine, like that's just gonna like drive a wedge between you and the kid. So yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, you gotta accept your kid for who they are or who they want to be and stuff. Like, if they do decide to do that, I'm all like, hey, that's on them. It's like my thing is like I might not like it. I might not be all accepting towards it, but I have to respect it, okay? And I have to have still nothing but love for my kid, okay? So, yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, it can happen, might not happen, but you never know. But anyways, then the next one, wife told me to start an open marriage. No, not with open marriages. I ain't with open marriages, relationships, none of that. Okay, it is me and you. Like when dating other people gets involved, like while we're in a no, I'm not with that. I'm not with that at all. So yeah, yeah. I'm like, can't do that. I'm like, sorry. I'm not that type of person. So yeah, it's like you married the wrong one because I don't do open relationships or marriages or any of that stuff. Like, yeah, if a girl, I'm all like, the thing is though, if a girl ever did approach me to talk on that, like how I feel about open relationships and all that, I'm like, I ain't with it. I'm all like, I overall, I'm like, my thing is like, if I'm on a date with a girl, I'm like, okay, that's like if we might as well just be like a group of friends then. I'm all like or like what a benefit stuff or something. But I'm like, my thing is like, notice how me and you are on a date. That's how I see the future with us. Like I ain't gonna see where it's all like, oh, I got my other girlfriend and you got your other. Like that's weird to me. That's just extremely weird. But I'm not with that. Oh, it's like a car outside. But anyways, yeah, I'm not with that. I don't do that open relationship stuff. So anyways, let's find one last one to read about. There's this next one. How can I get my husband to let me sleep? I don't know about that. Found out my boyfriend is actually younger than I thought. Break up with him. Final update. My wife is forcing our son to quit gymnastics because she thinks it'll ruin his purity. What? I don't know. No, don't like let your son do whatever he wants to do. It's like, what are you talking about? They're like ruin his purity. I'm like, I don't know what that means, but anyways, My boyfriend FaceTime another girl while we were hanging out. Let's read about it. It's like a high school one. It's like this ain't like I guess I'll read this one for my high school followers out there. Yeah, like this gonna be the one and only one that you get for this episode. But anyways, basically my boyfriend and I were hanging out in his room watching a movie. He FaceTimed someone and some girl answered and she was like, "Hey." Then my boyfriend said to me, "Yo, I'll be right back." Then just left the room and shut the door behind him. I heard him say, "Where you at?" But then he came back like 10 minutes later and we finished hanging out. Should I be worried? Edit, sorry I didn't add this before, but I did ask him. He said that's just his friend. People lie though. I know all his female friends. I don't know her. Yeah, that's my thing is like if I'm like hanging out with a girl, like that's why I'm gonna make it like as public as possible that I am in a relationship with this girl. Like that whoever my future girlfriend, wife is, I'm all like, oh, you are going to get the red carpet when we get into a relationship. You are. And I'm letting every girl know, even though I'll be having like a bunch of different girls in my DMs. But I hear that's like a thing though, where it's like when you get into a relationship, that's when girls like try to ruin that crap. So I'm like, okay, well, here's my thing. So my response to all of that, I'm posting for the day that me and her change our Facebook relationship status to in a relationship. I am posting her on social media telling everybody, hey, this is my girlfriend. If you tried sliding in my DMs, you ain't got to deal with me. You got to deal with her. So, don't slide in my DMs. Don't talk to me. Don't try to flirt with me. None of that stuff. And if you call me, guess who's going to be there? My thing is like, see, that was his mistake. Don't leave the room, okay? That's on my like, do not leave the room if you're going to be like, oh, hold on, I'll be right. Like, nah, something shady going on. Why'd you leave the room? I'm all like, I ain't even in the relationship, but I'm like, that don't seem right. That just doesn't seem right at all. My thing is like, okay, I'm gonna be that person in a relationship where I ain't got nothing to hide. To whoever my future girlfriend or wife is, she's gonna be like, my boyfriend slash husband is the most like open man. Like he ain't got nothing to hide. Like legit, my thing is, and it's one of those things where I'm like, and I hope and pray that I never get in a relationship and out of nowhere I just, because I hear that that's a thing where it's like you just fall out of love with the person. I'm like, I wouldn't want to put a girl through that. So I'm like, my thing is like, if I just don't really see the relationship going nowhere, hopefully I would see that early on and not wait like years down the road and be like, oh, I can't do this anymore. Like, because that's something I'm like, I would definitely like maybe some couples therapy, try to work things out and see. But yeah, I'm like, that's something I'm like, yeah, if a girl calls me and and I'm like, either I don't know, like if I post it, because I'm trying to like set up the situation, like, because knowing me, I definitely be posting like on social media, like, oh, hanging out with the girly friend or something. And if a girl calls me, I'm legit like, I'm like, hold on, let's pause the movie real quick, and I'm gonna be right there and stuff. But yeah, if she says like, my thing is like, if she says some like flirting stuff like, oh, what are you doing tonight? I'm all like, probably gonna be stopping my girlfriend from trying to figuring out who you are. So, cause I'm like, yeah, that's like, I think you don't understand. I'm kind of in a relationship right now. So, yeah, that's crazy, man. That's some crazy stuff. That's why it's like, you gotta like you gotta have like friend groups like the people from Saved by the Bell. Like everybody friends. So it's like if one girl calls, I'm like, oh, that's that's just a friend. That's just that's we all friends. We all be calling each other and stuff. So I'm like, if it's some stuff like that, okay, cool. Then we can just we ain't got nothing to worry about. Any outside parties, I'm all like, that I'm all like, that girl don't, she trying to start up something here. So yeah, I definitely be worried in a relationship like that. I'm all like, expect something that could possibly happen. Like I ain't gonna try to jinx you, but I'm just saying like something could potentially happen and that whole relationship might be over. But anyways, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. If you're viewing this on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you're viewing this on the podcast streaming service, make sure you follow or subscribe, however it's set up. Check out one of my 31 YouTube channels. I got a crap ton of YouTube channels that y'all can go check out. Follow me on Twitch, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. All you could just search up by searching up TMossBoss. Follow me on or like my page on Facebook. Just search up, I think, like TMossBoss fan page or something like that, and it should pop up. And yeah, until then, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening, and peace.